Yeah, hello and welcome to our Banter Blitz show now for November, what is that? 30th, right? So, this is a very special day, and we've got the tie breaks today of the World Championship match. I'm kind of low here in the video. Let me do it a little bit like that. So, we have the tie breaks, and somehow that looks weird a little bit. Got some weird artifacts in the background. Let me check that. I usually do that before. Ooh, man, that's slightly better. Anyway, let's get going. I'm almost tempted to play against Claudia 1g4. That's kind of a way to get me motivated. But of course not going to play some of the premium members. Let's play Priscilla. I don't think I've played her before. I should report that, yeah. Okay. Let's play Priscilla. I actually recognize that my setup here for the Banter Blitz is a little bit outdated with the very small clocks and such. I'm going to update this soonish. My head is cut off. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so we have a 1g6 here by Priscilla, so a modern defense. Yeah, there are a couple of questions already in the chat, and I'm going to address them for sure. Yeah, my predictions for the tiebreaker is unsurprisingly a win for Magnus Carlsen. I feel he's the quite clear favorite there. He, however, already was the favorite in the classical part of this match, and it didn't really materialize. Karjakin proved to be a very tough nut to crack. So we'll see what happens. I think Carlsen is the favorite, but as mentioned, that doesn't necessarily mean all that much. A very key point of such a tiebreaker is nerves, and we know that Karjakin is very resilient. And yeah, we'll see what happens. If Magnus loses a game, can he come back? Those kind of things. It's in any case going to be, I think, quite tense, quite exciting. I think Priscilla has a problem here. She's basically given up the g4 pawn. I think g5 was a bit too risky. Okay, I think I'm grabbing this pawn now. There's a question about, or a request that I should say something about Mark Taimanov, who passed away, I think yesterday or the day before that. I'm not precisely sure. I'm not sure if I'm qualified to say that much. I did not read up on him like for this particular occasion. I'm not quite sure what to say. I mean, Taimanov is often nowadays known for his match against Bobby Fischer, which he lost without scoring a single point. However, what we have to take into account is that if we look at the games in this match, Taimanov actually had excellent chances to score points. For example, he had a very good... Oh no, I'm a piece up, right? Trading queens. He had a very good position in the very first game, maybe a winning position out of a King's Indian. So that match, I mean, it was a clear affair for Fischer, who was a much stronger player, but it really wasn't like 6-0 was... yeah, it just doesn't reflect the actual games. It was a pretty tough match. My own recollection of Taimanov, there is one actually, because I have seen him playing actually. This is a long time ago. He actually played for a club in which is not so far away from the place where I live, and he played there. And this is now very funny. Oh, I'm taking this knight. He played in the sixth league, I think. Yeah, that's very strange, but somehow there was a connection between him and that club, and he was playing there and actually once visited one of the matches of that team to see him and some other guys there. So they had some other known players as well. Watched him play, and at the time he already was in his late 60s, but he at the end, I mean, he died age 90 years old. So I think most of us wouldn't complain if we would reach that age. Also, he made a fairly active and healthy impression until his last days, I guess. He probably, oh, now I blundered b5, knight a5 while talking about Taimanov. That's bad. Knight a5. Oh, he didn't take this opportunity. He in fact he became a father of twins only, I think, 12 or 13 years ago, with his young wife. I think his wife was in his 30s, in her 30s or so. So I think he led a very full and eventful life. Not all of it positive, of course. After he had this big defeat against Fisches in the match, he got problems with the Soviet authorities, and I think he had problems with leaving the country and so on. He also was a world-renowned pianist. This is something which is pretty well known. In fact, he was a performer. He performed together with his, I think, late wife. Not the young wife that I mentioned, that he still was married to up till his death. Isn't knight h5 putting this knight at risk? But yeah, and he really was a good pianist, is what I mean, a really great one. I'm not in a position to judge. I just know that like some years ago, maybe 10-15 years, what is that doing? I'm taking this. There was some kind of edition by a German. I'm taking all those pieces. There was some collection, yeah, the best pianists of all time, and he actually was part of that compact disc collection back then. So he was just not just like a hobby performer or anything. It seems really great. Okay, let's play Kabeljaukrieger. That's one of the funnier nicknames. I don't even know what Kabeljau means in English. No, that chair is not new. It's I have that for roughly 2.5 years, something like that. But I don't use it in the Banter Blitz sometimes. Sometimes somehow I have those artifacts from the chroma key, from the green screen. But this time it isn't that bad, so I keep my usual chair. No, it's not a problem if you challenged me before the stream, not at all. Rizza asks what my suggestion is to reduce draws in chess. I don't think this is a real problem, to be honest. I mean, on the top level, this is a fairly natural development. People simply get stronger and so on. There's one thing that definitely will be coming, which we will see more and more in the future, is just the change from classical time controls to rapid time controls, or to time controls that are like in the middle, yeah, like what they do now in the Zurich tournament, that is now will be called the Victor Korchnoi tournament. I think they have something like 1 hour and an increment or something. So the games simply don't last that long. I think one thing that should be combined with that is just to play more games. I mean, have a tournament like double round robin, like 20 something games, where they can actually come back from losses. Yeah, where you can risk something and still can do something in the tournament. Those kind of 8-round tournaments. What kind of, I'm sorry for my language, crap is that? Yeah, we want more games and maybe more action, I think. One problem with the wicked time controls is, of course, the quality of play. In some way, this is actually what you want. You want less quality to get more decisive results. On the other hand, what you also get is you get a loss in real, or what you lose is really outstanding, interesting concepts. Yeah, there's always this funny is wrong, well-known, famous is the right word, example of the bishop h3 move that Shirov played against Topalov. Yeah, this fantastic bishop sacrifice in an ending, which is probably impossible to find in a rapid time control scenario. And there's some truth to that, certainly. But you cannot have it all. If you want very high level play, you get more draws. It's just what it is. For the matches, it's difficult. Matches are also a different thing than tournaments. In this particular case, I think this is coming up because we had a very high draw rate in this match. This is also a thing that is there is something. One reason is that both players are actually quite similar in style. This is not a fire and ice kind of combination where one side, like, I don't know, we have an attacking player and we have a defender. Yeah, this is exactly how it was with the Karpov-Kasparov matches, for example. In those matches, it was absolutely clear that Kasparov would assume the role of the attacking player, and he would basically try to break Karpov's defenses. And this was one of the reasons why those matches, where most of them, not all of them by the way, were very tense. And Carlsen and Karjakin are both more of a strategic player, playing for small things. And in the case of Karjakin, he's not afraid to assume the role of a passive defender. And I mean, what he tried with White in this match was like nothing. I mean, he didn't even try to put pressure on Carlsen. So this is, I think it's a particular case of those players, which makes it especially boring is wrong, but let's say I found the match a little bit, let's say, like bleak. Yeah, they played the same openings the whole time and so on. Like another Rui Lopez, really, and so on. Yeah, it was kind of, there was no end in the same kind of thing. I think this is something, my take. I'm blundering a pawn here. Okay, it's not a big deal. I take a2, but I should not have done that. So let's see here. I should be able to get an outside passer. A4, B3. You can attack the A4 pawn. He might get F5, but my outside passer should be strong. Yeah, let's take it. And now I'm actually stopping him from sacrificing. I will get D3 as well. I cannot okay, bishop c2. He will have to play bishop here, and then I take d3. Should be a win. I think there was one suggestion to bring back the draw odds for the champion. This is not an unreasonable idea, I think. That the challenger actually has to win the match, and a tied result is not enough. This is not a bad idea, if you ask me, because then there is simply no option of going for a tie break. So it makes some sense. It makes some sense, this suggestion. Okay, I won this game against Cavalier Krieger. I'm sorry for that. It's sometimes difficult, yeah, to do this in English, and then you have the German names, yeah. So, Chess Chipmunk, going to play Chess Chipmunk. There was also a question if I think that Karjakin would have won this match if he would have not lost game 10. Yeah, that's a very hypothetical question. But he did lose it, and he should have lost game 3 and game 4. So I think he can be very, very happy with having reached the tie breaks. I mean, my personal take is he never wins any game against Carlsen unless Carlsen takes big risks. And this is what happened in game 8. So let's see here. Chess Chipmunk. Somewhat slowish queen pawn game. And I think Karjakin is actually happy with the tiebreak. I mean, if someone would have said before the event, do you want to have a tiebreak? And he would have jumped at it. Karjakin could have won game 7. Yeah, that's probably true. At least he had very strong practical chances. I'm not sure if it was a mathematical loss. Yeah, so here we have something that is more like a Sicilian than anything else. So let's see what Chess Chipmunk is doing with this. He cannot do all that much in terms of activity. Maybe I can go here and bishop h3. No? That's probably somewhat equalish, this position. I don't know if bishop h3 is that fantastic, but my bishop on c8 doesn't really make a great impression. No, I don't know how the scheduling is today. I know that they have 10. I think the idea is to do a 10-minute break between games. Drunken Neuer asks what my favorite type of chess is, Blitz, Rapid or Classical. I think I go with Blitz. I know that it's not a very popular opinion with chess teachers like I am, but when it comes to me myself playing, I like Blitz best. It's not it doesn't take all that long. It's something that you get many games in. Like a loss isn't all that frustrating. Like you sit there hours and hours and hours and so on. And this does not happen with Blitz chess. This is something that I really appreciate. It is a matter of overall time spent for such a game. I mean, oh, what is that? Isn't knight d5 interesting? Attack c3 and f4. So I can take c3 here, right? Greed is good, at least sometimes. Okay, so he attacks my knight. I have to move it again. Maybe put it here. Yeah, this question, what is the time controls and so on, is a difficult one. But there is something that, I mean, for those who think like classical, the long time controls, this is the real chess and everything, I kind of understand the point. However, one thing you should think about, just a moment, for a moment, we have those extremely long time controls simply because of tradition. It's just where we come from. Yeah, it is back in, like, let's say the late 19th century. They didn't even have time controls. Yeah, they just played. Yeah, like how long they didn't have chess clocks and so on. They just played for ages. Yeah, and then they somehow felt like, okay, let's do this and that. Yeah, we need to shorten that. And then we got to those 7-hour games, and then it got down to like 6 hours, and so on. But one thing you should ask yourself is, yeah, let's just say we have this game now, this game of chess, and forget about what you're coming from 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever, yeah, and you would just like play this game. Would you ever think that someone would sit down there for 7 hours and play a single game? I think the clear answer is no. Nobody would do that. You would think like, okay, like a game, what does a game of soccer, that's 90 minutes, or a game of basketball is like, what is that, with all the breaks, 3 hours, I don't know, with all the breaks, 2.5 hours, I don't know exactly. But nobody in his right mind would say 7 hours. Nobody. I'm absolutely sure about that. And this is something that you should think about. Yeah, aren't we just doing it because we always did it like we've been doing it? This is actually, I think, a main point. It's just something that always was like it is, and people sometimes don't question this kind of situation. I don't know. I'm undecided. I always felt like back like years ago that you should play classical and so on, but nowadays I'm not so sure. I think those super long games, nobody, as I said, would do it. Like, if you would ask people how long should a game of chess last, and if you ask an outsider and you tell them like, okay, we play 7 hours or 6 hours, they say like, are you crazy? And there is some truth to that. It is a little bit crazy. So I don't know. I feel like we probably will get to those quicker time controls anyway, because it makes some sense. So here, this game, Chess Chipmunk, is really putting up big resistance. I'm a pawn up, but it is not all that clear. Yeah, you have those long games. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, we had games with the Germans and so on, yeah. All these things. He cannot take now on d5. There's rook e1 checkmate. My bishops are pretty good. The only thing that I absolutely am sure of, that the longer time controls are, the really long ones, are not bad for beginners or players who lack experience in chess, because you have lots of time to kind of sort your thought process. Really, yeah, those kind of things are very helpful. You have more time. But for somewhat experienced players, most people don't like to play 5 hours, 7 hours, whatnot. It's just my experience when I ask them. Yeah, it's my take, and we will get there. We will definitely get there. Yeah, I have the chat window on the left hand side. This is why I'm looking to that side so often. Yeah, blue car is my opponent. We have a declined Benko transposing into an English opening. And it takes a long time here for those kind of normal moves. Oh, there's a question. What my opinion is on the Staunton gambit. That's d4, f5, e4. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. There is, I mean, what is kind of clear almost that black only has one good line, which makes sense, or which makes it interesting a little bit, because everything else is bad. He plays knight c6 is the best reply. And there is a particular line with queen to e2 that I think is interesting, but I'm not completely sure about the theoretical state. Yeah, time control of 1 hour for German under 10 team championship. Is that a good time control? To be honest, have you ever watched those tournaments? Those under 10 tournaments? They never use even 1 hour. They just play almost instantly. And this is up to the German championships, let's say. And I mean, something like 1 hour plus an increment is totally fine, in my, I think, my take. Yeah, blue car. I'm attacking your bishop here. You better do something about it. Maybe just bishop to d2. I'm grabbing this. Take care of your bishops. Yeah, blue car. I'm not going to tell you what he wrote in the chat. Okay, thanks for the game. Let's play Bärenstarker. Bärenstarker. Strong as a bear is what it means. Okay, so I'm going e5. And let's see what happens. Somehow I've got some CPU issues here. I think I'm going to close something. Yeah, good game. Yeah, Bärenstarker says we hope we have a good game. So I'm hope so too. Looking forward to it. I have to close some applications here. I'm sorry for some mess here. That probably helps to reduce the CPU load. So we have the black side of a Scotch 4 knights. That's not the most exciting opening. It's 5 minutes also. I have to be aware of that. This constant switch between 3 minutes and 5 minutes is sometimes an issue. So I keep forgetting how this is played. There is this idea of taking and queen e3, so maybe I start with this move. ChessExplained using engine confirmed. No. I had ChessBase in the background, I think, and it was eating up resources. So let's see if I can get rid of this. My idea is to win a tempo on the b pawn and then play rook to b4. Ultimately, trying to exchange the bishop. I's connection is interrupted. Okay, so here. I actually had games where people overlooked this attack. Can happen. It's such a long move, but you kind of should see it because it's the only purpose of this move. I wonder why he took. Am I overlooking something? It looks very comfortable for me. What's the point? Why did he give me the bishop pair? Okay, maybe... Wait, rook b7 is maybe bishop a6. Which engine do I use for openings? I usually use Stockfish for everything. I'm not very sophisticated with this. I think some people have various engines for some applications, like one for endings and whatever. I just use Stockfish for everything. I sometimes use Komodo. I have an older Komodo version, but I think normally I just use Stockfish. Okay, so I have some issue here with the coordination. If I do interesting. Queen e5 takes. My back rank is weak. Queen e5 takes rook e1. f6 though. Okay. Good. On f4 I have a check. Yeah, there's a discussion about my live stream from Monday on another server. I don't really want to elaborate there, but this guy that I was accusing of cheating is a cheater. Everything else is like just nonsense. He is a cheater for sure. You can just watch this YouTube channel and this is complete bogus. But okay, let's not get into that. There's some guy commenting games without knowing what he's doing, and this is, I mean, this is never a human player. Absolutely impossible. So I'm taking this. No, I don't take a draw here, Bärenstarker. Why should I? This is still a game, right? Let's see what happens. I can grab c5 here, or I think I will. He will get g7 most likely. Maybe I get to the a pawn. My king is not active though. Yeah, it doesn't really. It doesn't really help to talk about cheaters. It just doesn't make any sense. So what's going on here? I'm attacking a3 and okay. Maybe he still holds this, but it's a. I got bishop e8. Oh my god! I did not really look at that. I can just do whatever. Remy. Okay. Okay, we can put it on the board. I should have played it actually. Rook a6, he can take here, and it's totally equal. Not good. Queen b8 is missed. Queen b8? I don't know. I don't remember. So going for a new game, and maybe you have someone who I have not played before. Most of them I have played before. Easy Rider 27. Haven't played him. So we've got a black side here of a bishop's opening, transposing into the Italian game. It's a very sound opening for white. I always hope for an early h3 so that I can play this h6 g5 business. G5 here is actually very now he plays it. Yeah, this is a very sound line for white, but it's also not particularly exciting. Feels a little bit like the World Championships. Queen f3 here maybe for queen g3. No, not even that. Okay. And now I can actually take the knight. That's a nice one. So I'm winning a pawn here, right? A pawn is a pawn is a pawn. Or not. I think I do, right? It's about the only way you can win in this position. Like, opponent drops a pawn. It's so solid. Yeah, I wonder, is he doing something, some trickery that I'm missing? I don't think so. Currently a7 is hanging, so he doesn't have anything special. Chess Chipmunk asks if the players will play something sharper like the Sicilian in the tiebreaks. That could definitely happen if somebody is behind, yeah. But I think they will start with the same set of openings, like with the Rui again and so on. I couldn't take f2. That was protected by the bishop. Whoa. What the heck? Okay, I cannot take a7. But I can go back here, right? For knight f3 and h3 hangs. e4 also was attacked. But now I'm threatening b5. That actually wins the bishop for good. So that should be a little bit too much actually. Knight f3, knight h3. Doesn't look good. Yeah, I think white is out of moves here. I'm threatening a bit too much. Too many threats. Tristram Shandy says, I hope Carlsen plays the collie again. This is not unreasonable to think that something like that could be played. To be honest, something that surprised me a bit, that in the match, thanks for the game Easy Rider, that in the classical match, that there was not a single c4 or knight f3, g3, those kind of the flank opening, those flank openings, because they are not as well explored as main lines, and they have this quality, at least in some lines, like also like the collie has, like it just keeps pieces on the board. It's not completely it's not allowing simplification, yeah, and this is something that that is generally, I think, desired if you want to win games. So I was surprised to not see c4 or knight f3 at all, and this is something that might happen in the rapid today. The English opening was extremely popular in the candidates tournament, so it is it's not unreasonable to think that they would play something like that as well. So we have a closed Rui here against I think Christian, right? Christian Kuitert. So what to do here? I've played this a couple of times now, and the best game of the Fischer-Spassky match was not game 6, no. This is sometimes mentioned, this game, but I think the best games of the match were clearly game 10 and game 13. These were really great games. I mean, game 6 was mostly Fischer killing Spassky, who played really badly. But game 10 and game 13 they were those titanic struggles. They were both players played really, really well, and those were much better. I mean, game 6 was a great effort by Fischer. It's a classical kind of annihilation game, but it's just that Spassky defended extremely badly. I mean, we have to be honest there. But game 13 and game 10, they were much better. Game 10 was an extremely complicated Breyer Rui, where Fischer won very, very complicated game, and game 13 was this amazing Alekhines defense, which at the end had this wacky ending with rook against 5 pawns, which is still fantastic to watch. So these games were absolutely brilliant. One thing though, this match is, of course, it is the match of the century and the most famous chess match of all time. But we should not forget, if you look at those games, the pure chess content, wasn't high level all the time. I mean, there were some games where Spassky blundered the exchange and so on. Yeah, I mean, it's not like every game was fantastically brilliant. What the match definitely had was tension, and simply the those fantastic characters. Like Fischer was just a unique character in many ways. What the beep? He wants to get this pawn. Greedy. I don't want to give him that pawn. Yes, Swidler has every chess commentator has their favorite expressions, and Peter's are definitely objectively, and I tend to use that as well. Probably, it's not I'm not copying this on purpose, but it is a good word, yeah. I wonder if I'm doing something stupid here. It kind of looks a bit shaky. Want to keep my d pawn. c2. I'm not quite sure about it. I will play rook d1 anyway. Okay, so I have to support this. I don't know actually where the Berlin defense comes from. If this is from one particular game or tournament. Often it is from the place where they were first played, but I'm not sure with the Berlin. Okay, let's go for the queen trade here. My king is quick here. So if he goes rook d1, I'm trading, and then the king comes up. The Berlin defense of the Rui, in particular the endgame line that they play. The board is blurry. I didn't do anything about that. It's not on purpose. One thing is clear. My board is smaller. Yeah, thanks for playing, Christian. I'm now promoting that d pawn. My board is smaller than in the other Banter Blitzes, like what Peter is doing now. He has a better setup with a bigger board and the clocks differently. I have to go to that new setup. I did not yet do that. So, who do we have here? Debbie 1. Let's go Debbie 1. It's a 3-minute game, and I'm closing in on 2,600 again. At least 2,600 is what I feel I should have. So the knight off. Yeah, people know their theory nowadays. H5 is a good move. And it's not pre-move. He might take with the g-pawn. He does take with the g-pawn. Here I think I would probably want to go to f5 quickly. That's a pretty annoying piece. It's not reacting. That's not nice. Which one do I like best? Collie, London, or Trompovsky? I think the Tromp is maybe the most interesting one. Gives the best chances to get something. I mean, it is ultimately all is somewhat equal, but given the choice, but there are some interesting ideas with the other openings as well. There are some interesting ideas also in the London. I mean, the London system has a somewhat boring reputation, which is not completely undeserved, but you can play it with some interesting ideas as well. You don't have to play in this very schematic way that many people do it. So am I not winning the d6 pawn? Why is the Scotch not popular on the top level? Interesting. I would like to know that as well, because I never feel it is so easy for black. But maybe one reason is that the Scotch opening is a very forced one, a very kind of concrete one, and maybe they have it worked out to such a degree that white players feel they don't pose many problems. On the other hand, if you look at the Ruy Lopez results in the World Championship match, you can argue that white doesn't get anything with the Ruy either, and you'll probably be right about that. I do recommend the Scotch for normal players, like club players and so on. Yes, the Berlin endgame is discussed by Tarrasch and people like that. Wasn't there a game Taubenhaus Tarrasch or something like that? So, what's going on here? I wonder if I should do this. It's a bit slowish, but I don't want to calculate if he can take on g2. attacking f6 here. On queen b7 I can cover it now with bishop g2. Here I can take f6. But I think I'll grab. Oh no, we can take with the queen actually. That was bad. My e4 pawn hangs. Okay, he doesn't use this opportunity. Now I can grab f6. Difficult for black. Can someone become a grandmaster without studying the classics? Probably yes. Is it recommended? No. I think it makes sense to study the classics, also to simply get a better grasp of what's going on, yeah? Or like to just understand what kind of great heritage this game has. But I think it might be possible to get to a very high level without studying classics all that much, which is a bit unfortunate, I think. So I'm pretty much ahead here on the clock. Oh, Christian says his game must have been bad. Right after it, the computer crashed. Thanks for the game, Debbie. So, who do we have? Some guys I haven't played. I've played most of them. It's a relatively here. Zeffini I only have played once, so let's take the challenge by Zeffini. Let's go. Yeah, another h3 knight off. And h5 again. Not this time. It is not a... It's not the most obvious move, but h5 is really quite good, stopping white from expanding with g4. We will see in this game why black is doing that. Yeah, the question is, can black ever castle here? That won't be easy. And f4 next. There's a discussion about the Scotch Gambit. Yeah, the Scotch Gambit is not particularly great. It is basically, yeah, so some kind of surprise weapon maybe for the club level, but it's not particularly great, anything above that. I mean, white is not worse, but you don't really get anywhere. Oh no, f5, that looks like a tough position for black. Yeah, this has no squares. b4, however. Yeah, maybe b4, but knight a4, bishop b5, knight b6. It doesn't win material straight away. It isn't totally winning. So it's a bit surprising. It looks very strange for black, but somehow he hangs on. Okay, but here I think he has a hard time to take, right? He cannot take this knight, which makes it difficult for him. I will take with the, I take with this. The knight has only a5 and I'm taking the b4 pawn, I believe. I also have f6. That's a pretty strong attacking move. Let's do that. Oh, goes back. I thought he should take at least. Okay, grab it. I blundered that one. I completely blundered that one. Okay, let me do something funny here. I think I can do that. That's not showing off. I think this is actually good. Because the remaining pieces I have are fantastic and he can not move anything that he has. Giving up the queen is actually strong, I believe. He cannot move the bishop, he cannot move the rook anywhere. And I'm getting knight f5, c4, c5, and so on. Okay, put it here. Yeah, I got new weaknesses to cover. There was a question, why not queen takes d5? I mean, you kind of see what position I'm getting now. It looks pretty awful. Threatening d7 now. Queen a4. Oh, queen a4, yeah. I had queen a4, yeah, that's true. But this isn't bad here, right? There's a question by, oh, I cannot pronounce that. Like, is it an idea to specialize in offbeat openings and mostly do tactics and improve the middle game and like excel in the complicated positions that you know better? Yeah, I know, the bird and the modern. I think with the modern, maybe the bird. I mean, the thing is, the what you will get mostly are not very good positions, is the thing. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of openings like that. Like, why not play normal openings? I mean, people completely overestimate what can happen to them if they play normal lines. Like, people, like, they would get crushed or so. Main lines are main lines because they are better than side lines. And you can figure things out over the board. It's not a big deal, really, to play like e4 or d4, something, let's say, normal, and do it like that. Yeah, now it gets to a level of technique that I'm capable of. Okay, thanks for the game, Zeffini. Who do we have? Vinyak Suta. That's a non-premium. I should really not accept non-premiums. It sometimes still happens. What about the Duke Crusher? Played him only once before. Let's play the Duke Crusher. To study lots of tactics and look at dynamic positions to improve is a good idea, but I really don't see why you should play the bird opening. Why not just play something normal and enjoy the better positions that you get? Okay, Duke Crusher. I'm going to wait for a moment there, but not for a whole lot of time. Okay, let's cancel that one and see who else we have. Kruchikita. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Is it okay to simply try a new line, for example, the Berlin, hoping to find moves over the board? And you and I am, you can find moves over the board, right? Yeah, I think it's not completely unreasonable. I feel like oftentimes if you know the general ideas, you will find good moves over the board. I've had this happen quite a bit. I mean, I had situations where I looked my game up afterwards with the computer, and I played like identically to some grandmaster game for 15 moves, and I didn't know that this exactly was a game. Yeah, I found the moves just because they looked logical and felt like they belonged into the position, and it's better to try to do that than to play something that ultimately won't net you a good position. So here I'm getting e4 back, I believe. I don't see how you can cover it, and then I should be a bit better. Okay. In this question, like should you just like try out a main line and try to find the moves over the board? With the Berlin, I actually believe, like in the Berlin ending, this is something that you can play without knowing all that much theory. At least if you are not playing one of the biggest experts there. Yeah, of course, if you do it in a heavy theoretical opening, you're toast. But you cannot have it, what is the expression, yeah? Have the cake and eat it too, or something. You want to play sharp, exciting chess, play a sharp Sicilian mainline, and you don't want to learn theory. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you have to cut some corners. So, okay, let's think about this for a bit here. How to play this one, maybe. I don't have an opinion on these books. Gambit series, chess openings, chess tactics, and endings. I don't know them. Sorry. Cannot help. Yeah, this is a move that doesn't work. I'm happily taking this. I also could have taken d7 and b7, but this is just two big pawns. Yeah, the step method, the Stappenmethode, is usually a good call if you do training with junior players. So how to end this? Is there a way to end this? This one? Yeah, I'm just grabbing stuff. Yeah, Mick Tart says game 13 of the Fischer Spassky match really was fantastic. Yeah, this is the best game of the match, I think. Some people like the 10th game better, but I think number 13 is just brilliant. Yeah, in this game I'm just like taking everything. Take everything that's given to me. At what rating level do you think we would start using the GM preparation series? Okay. This is thanks for the game, Kuchikita. These are the books by Argard. I think they are a pretty mixed bag. Some of the exercises actually can be done by people on the 2000 level, let's say. That is doable with some exercises, but some are just far too difficult for that level. I mean, below 2000, you're probably, that will be tricky, yeah, to do it below 2000. Some exercises are okay for that level, but some are just too difficult. If you are on 2200, yes, you can use them. But there are also exercises that leave me kind of dumbfounded, like, what is he trying to do here? And I'm not saying that I should solve all of them, but you know. Okay, so we're getting to a mainline Rui. There was a question, would Fischer beat Carlsen and so on? Yeah, those discussions are always difficult to say. Fischer's talent obviously was extremely high. So with modern material and so on, there's no reason why this shouldn't be an open match. In a typical time, in a time machine situation, yeah, you transfer him from like 40 years ago and place him against Carlsen, he just would get killed very, very clearly. But this is the same thing would happen if you would take like mid-80s Karpov or whatever. I mean, it just they just play a lot better nowadays with what they know, yeah, opening knowledge and better middle game understanding. But in terms of chess talent and potential, there's absolutely no reason why Capablanca or Fischer or those fantastic players of the past, where they shouldn't be able to compete with modern players. I mean, brains have not gotten better in any way. So let's see how to play this. d5 gets into some kind of Benoni. At least I've played Benoni positions. I don't know. I was surprised what he's doing here with his bishop. Okay, so how am I doing to play? He will play c4 very likely. I think I need the queen and the knights there. Oh. Yeah, I have to do this actually. That wasn't planned. Oh, that's not good. Okay, but he might win this exchange, but I will get an attack. And it's not an easy attack to defend against. I'm fairly certain. Let's see. I can go knight g4 or queen g4, g6. That's all very dangerous. Let's start with this. I thought that actually is too risky, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, you can play knight f8 and then play f6 probably. Knight f8, knight g4 and f6. That probably holds. It looks terrible, but it might hold. I think he has to play f6 or yes. So he did that, and now I can check here. I can actually take with the queen and play, and then knight h6 mate is also in. But okay, let's say knight takes, king h8. Is there a way for me to win this? If I take... it doesn't do as a job. I have bishop d. I have no time. Okay. Yeah, this is a draw. Unless he wants to play on time. Doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, so a draw. I don't know. That was a weird one. I blundered knight takes d5, which is a bit of a shame because I think that this position is extremely good for me. Like before, yeah, these pieces are all bad. b7, b6, and so on. So I shouldn't have blundered this stuff. Okay, good game by Anfego. Well defended. So, what to do here? Seeadler. Let's play Seeadler. Knight c3. And yet another Scotch game. Knight e2 you don't see all that often. King h1 he had bishop f2, but maybe I still should have done that in that former game. Chess Chipmunk says, who do you think will be the next world championship challenger? Well, this depends quite a bit on the outcome of today, right? If Carlsen loses the match, he will be the next challenger, but but we don't know that yet, right? I mean, this is really without a joke. I think if Carlsen loses this match and he has to play in the candidates, he will win this candidates tournament. I mean, I'm totally sure about that. But you never know. If this happens, he might just stop playing the World Championships altogether. That's possible. He has already stated that he dislikes the match format. We don't know. If Karjakin is losing the match and gets back into the candidates, well, I don't know. I really don't know who is in, to be honest. I don't know about the composition of the candidates tournament. When should this be actually? In early 2018 then, right? I don't know. It depends on the composition of the field. Could be anybody from the top 10. Don't really see a heavy favorite. It really depends on who's playing. Okay. That looks like a slightly weird move. Drunken Lawyer asks, anybody watching the PDC World Darts Championships? Yeah, I'm not an expert in darts. I mean, I know a couple of dart players, and I'm kind of, I mean, when I see darts, I always think Phil Taylor, so I would probably watch if he's playing. Now I'm winning stuff. There's a question about the Fischer-Spassky match 92. If this was close to the level that they had in 72. And though that was somewhat weaker. I mean, it is not a surprise. They haven't played for. I mean, Fischer had a break of 20 years, and Spassky also wasn't an active player at the time, really. So we've got another open Sicilian, maybe a knight off. That's what they almost all play. No, a dragon by Dumayan. Do you play Go? I don't know. I mean, a chess student of mine taught me the rules actually, and I feel I have forgotten them already. So I'm not really good with other games. Yeah, that's true. Fischer's record of winning 20 games in a row against strong GMs will never be broken. That's absolutely clear. That will never be broken. So, Dumayan, what are you doing? This is the mainline dragon. You should not think here. Yeah, now the best move is probably bishop takes d4, even though many black players go for e5. It's taking a long time. Queen a5. Don't see that too often. Why is that working? Can I not just grab this pawn? Yeah, so I'm having a pawn. I'm a pawn up in ending, huh? That cannot be the goal of the Sicilian dragon. Guys, there are too many questions. I cannot answer them. All of them. I cannot. Sorry. So, let's see here. Trying to put more pressure on the a-pawn. Rook a3, rook a5. There's a question by Facepalm Chess. Says he started chess at 35 and wants to get to an 1800 level in Blitz, and he doesn't have much time. Yes, I think what here some other users suggest, try to improve tactics. That's definitely one thing to do, especially if you want to play mostly Blitz. Yeah, you should be good at tactics, short move tactics, study some basic opening repertoire. No, not something fancy, but something basic. And then the main thing is to, if you want to specialize really at Blitz, is to just play. Play as many games as possible. So I'm trying to get everything I have on the a7 pawn. Yeah, that is too much. This counterplay. Blitz is really a lot about playing it. How to coordinate better. My rook here is not bad, but I wonder. I need to push the pawns. Yeah, there's a question if I think rapid games are the right way to decide a world championship. And okay, no, I don't know. What you suggest, Mick, here is wrong. Playing classical games as long as one is leading with 1 point doesn't work. Yeah, you need to be. It needs to be. It needs to be plannable in some way. Yeah, I mean, especially if you want to do it in a Western environment. Like in New York, let's say you hire some kind of, or you rent some kind of place where you play in, and you cannot just do that indefinitely, like for ages. I mean, we had this unlimited match. This is basically what it is, an unlimited match then. Karpov-Kasparov 1984, and they played until game 48, until they were totally dead. And I mean, back then they played in, I don't know, the Moscow Army Club or whatever, yeah, something that is not doable today. So I got to the 2 pawns finally that will promote, but I have to be alert. Let's not blunder everything here. Could happen. I didn't do that well. It looks still a little bit tricky. But he does not have a fortress here. Grab stuff. Now you don't find you cannot find a venue for an unlimited match, and frankly speaking, 12 games of the closed Rui with d3 is enough at some point. So, okay, one more game, and preferably a quick one. Ich bin Schachspieler. Let's play Ich bin Schachspieler. It's a 3-minute challenge. I don't want to do any overtime today. I need to get ready for action. So, it looks a lot like another knight off. Or do we get a dragon? It's a dragon. I use some Logitech mouse, that Logitech G502. I don't know if it is great. I cannot tell you. It was recommended to me by a chess student, and I'm okay with it. But I cannot really tell if it is a really good one or anything like that. I lack comparison. Yeah, White's game is usually relatively easy to play in the Sicilian Dragon, which does not mean that it is winning or anything. Yeah, they they will try stuff like that. So what here? Probably take it. That feels very dangerous. This is not a super high-end thing. I think it's like 40 or 50 euros. I think there are much more expensive mice. I had a Razer mice once, which was extremely expensive, and I don't really know if it helped all that much. Yeah, so I'm playing here with the tempo on e7. Oh, really? Knight takes queen h6. Looks very difficult to defend. Rook f7 probably. I mean, I'm attacking here with an extra piece. That is kind of convenient. But how to do it? Take, pawn takes. I would like to include the bishop here. This one maybe. It's not bad, I guess. I overlooked knight f2. The knight still looks very strong. Threatening knight takes g6. Yeah, and Ich bin Schachspieler resigned. Yeah, he was running out of time. I feel though that knight takes g6 is impossible to prevent. Yeah, okay guys, I hope you enjoyed our live stream. I'm actually not even 90 minutes on. That's not good. Let's play one more. 1 3-minute game. Wino Spider. A quick one. Come on, Wino. Gambling with the c5 pre-move. One more game. I kind of read the clock wrong. I thought I would be on a lot longer than 90 minutes, but I'm just on 90 minutes, so one more game. Can I do something funky against Wino? Let's do that. h5, h4. Yes, the match starts in 30 minutes. b3, I'm winning material, right? Knight e4 wins a1, wins the exchange. So he's giving me this pawn. Gimme, gimme, gimme. So, what to do? I'm covering the entry square. I just need to organize my pieces. This is not that easy actually here. It looks good, yeah, with this pawn, but not so easy. Yeah, thanks for the kind words about my World Championship coverage videos. I don't actually think they are the best ones. I think Peter's are best, but I usually watch Peter Swidler's recaps myself, and then sometimes if I record my video after I've watched his video, I borrow some ideas. I mean, it's just like impossible to let's say unlearn what you learned from his video. So sometimes I basically almost quote what he says, not like word by word, but I make my notes, and it's just part of what of the input. Yeah, what goes into my notes is what I see in his videos. So I think I'm getting this pawn here on c5 as well. f5 will push the knight away, and then I'm winning this. Okay, I think if I come up to d5, then e5 should get the job done. Oh no, I'm taking this. Far too greedy to pass up on a free knight. Okay, guys, thanks for watching the Banter Blitz session. Yeah, and we are all getting hyped up now. 25 minutes to go until the tie break. I hope you will all enjoy the action. I hope it will be nice, and yeah, we'll see what the result will be. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye till next week.